Only a handful of farms globally produce this cheese, and it can sell for over $1,000 a pound. Discover the secrets behind the world's rarest cheese. Our journey starts in the rolling hills and lush valleys of Serbia, where a small group of dedicated farmers raise a herd of rare Balkan donkeys. These donkeys are the lifeblood of Pule cheese, a cheese so unique and rare that it's prized by chefs and gourmands worldwide. Unlike the cows or goats used in most cheese production, donkeys produce very little milk, typically only about a liter per day per animal. This low yield, combined with the milk's unique properties, makes Pule cheese one of the most exclusive and expensive cheeses in the world. In fact, creating a single kilogram of Pule requires nearly 25 liters of donkey milk, which can take weeks to collect. Donkey milk itself is unlike any other milk. It has a naturally sweet flavor, a delicate aroma, and a surprising nutritional profile. It's lower in fat compared to cow's or goat's milk, but rich in essential vitamins, minerals, and omega-3 fatty acids. These qualities make it both challenging and rewarding to turn into cheese. The milk's lack of casein, the protein responsible for curdling in most cheeses, means it doesn't coagulate on its own. Traditional cheese-making techniques won't work, so farmers have had to innovate, experimenting with blends and methods that enhance the milk's unique characteristics. Each morning, as the sun rises over the serene landscape, the farmers begin their work. Milking a donkey is an art in itself, requiring patience and precision. These gentle animals need to be handled carefully, as their production depends heavily on their comfort. Skilled workers softly approach the donkeys, reassuring them with calm tones and gentle touches. Milking is done by hand. Machine milking would stress the donkeys, which could decrease their already limited milk yield. Each drop is precious, so every milking session is a careful process. On an average day, a donkey might produce only a fraction of a liter of milk, making every session a critical step in the cheese-making process. Once enough milk has been gathered, it's stored in sterilized containers and immediately chilled to around 4 degrees Celsius to maintain its freshness and prevent any bacterial growth. This chilling process preserves the milk's sweet, slightly grassy flavor. Even a slight delay in refrigeration could spoil the batch, so timing is crucial. The farmers work swiftly, often making multiple trips between the milking stations and the storage facility to ensure the milk is always kept at optimal temperatures. The next stage in the journey begins when the milk is ready to be curdled. Due to its low casein content, the milk doesn't coagulate naturally like cow or goat milk. Instead, cheesemakers must add a specific amount of rennet, often derived from goats, to achieve the right level of curdling. Too much rennet could alter the flavor, while too little could result in a weak curd that won't hold together during pressing. Cheesemakers must walk a fine line, relying on years of experience to get this balance just right. The milk is then poured into large stainless steel vats where the curdling process begins. The room is kept at a steady 20 degrees Celsius to provide an ideal environment for coagulation. Cheesemakers hover around the vats, monitoring every detail. They watch as the milk slowly transforms, thickening and separating into soft curds and whey. This stage can take up to 4 hours, and during this time, the cheesemakers rely on their senses to gauge the milk's progress. The texture, smell, and even subtle vibrations within the vat provide clues about when the curds are ready to move on to the next stage. Once the curds have set, they're ready to be cut, a crucial step in determining the final texture of the cheese. Using handmade cheese knives, the artisans carefully slice the curds into small, uniform pieces about the size of peas. The size of these pieces affects the cheese's final texture. Smaller curds lead to a firmer cheese, while larger curds yield a creamier texture. For Pule, the pieces must be small enough to hold their shape, but still large enough to retain a slight creaminess. Once cut, the curds are gently stirred to release excess whey, the watery part of the milk. Stirring must be done slowly to avoid damaging the delicate curds. At this point, the curds are ready to be drained and pressed, but the process differs significantly from traditional cheese-making methods. Instead of using heavy weights or hydraulic presses, Pule cheese undergoes a technique known as gravity pressing. The curds are carefully scooped into fine cloth bags and hung from racks, allowing the whey to drain naturally over the course of several hours. This gravity-assisted method is gentler than mechanical pressing, preserving the curds' delicate structure and allowing them to retain just enough moisture for a soft, crumbly texture. As the curds hang, they undergo a slow transformation. The texture becomes slightly firmer, and the flavor intensifies as the water content decreases. Once enough whey has drained, the cheese is removed from the bags and shaped into small rounds using traditional wooden molds. These molds are hand-carved to create an intricate rippled pattern on the cheese's surface, which enhances its appearance and allows air to circulate around each piece as it ages. The cheese is then lightly salted to bring out its natural flavors and help preserve it as it ages. Only a small amount of salt is used, as too much could mask the delicate taste of the donkey milk. Salt also helps form a thin, natural rind on the cheese, which protects it during the aging process. This rind is paper-thin, almost imperceptible, but it plays a critical role in developing the cheese's flavor profile. With the cheese now shaped and salted, it's time for the aging process, where Pule cheese truly begins to develop its unique character. The wheels are moved to an aging room, a carefully controlled environment that mimics the conditions of a traditional cheese cave. Here, the temperature hovers around 10 to 12 degrees Celsius, with humidity levels between 80 and 85%. These conditions are crucial for developing Pule's complex flavors and creamy texture. The cheese wheels rest on wooden shelves, spaced evenly apart to allow air to circulate around them. The air is rich with the aroma of milk, herbs, and a faint hint of sweetness. During the aging process, which lasts anywhere from 3 to 6 months, the cheesemakers monitor each wheel daily, adjusting the room's temperature and humidity as needed. The aging process is slow and meticulous, requiring the cheesemakers to turn each wheel regularly to ensure even aging. As the weeks go by, Pule cheese develops a delicate rind and a slightly firmer texture. The interior remains creamy and crumbly, with a flavor profile that's subtle and complex. Notes of grass, herbs, and a faint nuttiness begin to emerge, mingling with the natural sweetness of the donkey milk. The cheesemakers test each wheel periodically, cutting small samples to check the texture and taste. Only cheeses that meet their high standards for flavor, aroma, and consistency are allowed to continue aging. After months of careful tending, Pule cheese is finally ready to be enjoyed. The cheesemakers perform one last quality check, examining each wheel for imperfections. They look for a creamy yet crumbly texture, a balanced flavor that's both sweet and earthy, and an aroma that's fresh and slightly floral. Each wheel is a work of art, representing the culmination of months of hard work, dedication, and a deep respect for the animals and the land. Once each wheel passes inspection, it's carefully packaged in handmade wooden boxes. These boxes are crafted specifically for Pule cheese, designed to protect the delicate wheels during transport. Inside, the cheese is wrapped in wax paper to preserve its moisture and flavor. The wooden boxes not only serve a practical purpose, but also reflect the cheese's status as a luxury item. Each box is a testament to the craftsmanship and care that goes into every wheel of Pule. From the rolling pastures of the Balkans to the artisanal aging rooms, Pule cheese embodies a journey that's as much about tradition and craftsmanship as it is about taste. It's a cheese that defies industrialization, one that's made in small batches with a commitment to quality over quantity. For those fortunate enough to taste it, Pule offers an experience unlike any other, a rare glimpse into the artistry and dedication behind one of the world's most exclusive cheeses.